my very good friend Suresh Prabhu, minister, a dynamic minister of railways. And it would be extremely remiss of me if in a vote of thanks I did not include Ram Madhav, who is really the spirit as well as the creator of this, of not only this evening's event, but of now the third conference in a row. We have heard a very comprehensive examination of the most dangerous phenomenon of our era. The Vice President placed it with clarity, without mincing words. He named names, and he did so with a very judicious combination of facts, analysis, and sobriety. This speech is a genuinely important guide to our deliberations over the next 2 days, as well as, I think, something that we can carry with us. The world has been searching, or at least the United Nations has been searching, the rest of the world knows what it is talking about, has been searching for a definition of terrorism. 20 years have passed, and the United Nations cannot find a definition of the most important war that is being faced by our lifetimes. If you can't define a war, how can you fight it? But today we have heard from the Vice President, from the Deputy Prime Minister. I think Nepal gave an extremely splendid definition of terrorism. It was clear. It again what expanded in it all its multiple dimensions. All our speakers, including the Chief Minister of Haryana and Suresh, made it clear that there is no binary definition of terrorism. There is no good and there is no bad. Evil is evil. Evil is menacing. On my part, I wish I had heard just one word more, which I hope we will find an opportunity to discuss, which is the true impact, or the most dangerous impact of terrorism, at least in my view, is the manner in which it poisons plural societies with that phantom of fear and uses fear in order to divide people from one another. And people who have lived together as human beings for thousands of years, despite their differences. But they are being divided, and we can see the impact of this in behavior patterns all over the world. And we are proud that we in India have been able to meet this challenge, to confront this challenge, and in a sense, keep the impact of terrorism beyond our borders. This is not a small achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a small achievement, and it doesn't come about easily. It comes about when a whole country, a whole people share a certain united philosophy, a philosophy of humanism that is the true way in which we can keep this danger from being a bigger menace than what it could be. It is not just death which is the consequence. I tell you, it is the consequences of feared death which is really beginning to impact minds. On another note, why do we believe that terrorism is the biggest danger that we are facing in our lifetimes and in the future? After all, war is not a new phenomenon. The 20th century, more havoc created by war than ever before. I mean, how many hundreds? It lost maybe 120 million people, young men and women, over 2 world wars in Europe alone. We are not even counting the numbers that died on unknown battlefields and enormous areas. So we have seen devastation of unparalleled kind, and sometimes when I use the word humanity, I wonder if I'm using the right word, because human beings have it in themselves not only to rise to a wonderful level, but also to sink to unknown depths. And the reason why I think it is fair, because after the 19th century, the end of the age of empire, after the 20th century, the end of the age of colonialism, we do believe that the 21st century is the one century when humanity has an opportunity to create something really unprecedented, which is shared prosperity. The rise of democratization, not simply the structure of democracy, but also the spirit of democracy. And on a parallel line, the tremendous explosion, revolutionary explosion of technology, and technology which is not merely at the service of elites, not merely at the service of this ballroom, but technology that is of service to the poor in the villages. The same technology is creating revolutions today. And one of the greatest things that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done is to take this technology to the poor. This, I tell you, will be the subject of more books than perhaps anything else. However, that this shared prosperity that we really think is possible is threatened really by one thing, and that is the menace of death and the menace of terrorism. And therefore, along with in order to achieve shared prosperity, we need shared security. And this really is why I think we are all here from across the world to find the capacities and find the ways in which we can, our other differences being set aside, find the shared security with which we can take on this extreme menace. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming from all across the world, and I hope that this is the beginning of a very important intellectual exercise, but also a very important conference that provides a beacon to the many governments who have to face this on a daily and on a very, very, what might we call, debilitating enemy. But thank you very much, and I'm sure we will have the kind of conference that honors correctly the message that we have heard from the platform today. Thank you.